Greetings, Taurus and Taurus rising. This is your Western forecast for 2024. The three outer planets, Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, that impacts the world at large, makes major changes to our own personal lives if those three outer planets are impacting like your sun or your moon, etc. The three outer planets are changing signs from 2024 into 2025. This is a big paradigm shift. I'll speak about that later. But when I first look at what are the overall trends for your sun sign, well, I look to Jupiter and I look to Saturn. Jupiter brings the opportunities. Saturn can help manifest and do the work. Jupiter is the rewards of putting in all this responsibilities of Saturn. Saturn does want to take it slow, and Saturn is more contracting energy, where Jupiter is expanding energies. Now, Jupiter is a 12-year cycle. Jupiter went into Taurus, your sign or rising sign, in May of 2023. And it will remain there till May 2024, at which point the Jupiter leaves Taurus and goes into Gemini until June of 2025. Now, when Saturn is in Taurus, moving through past your rising sign of Taurus into your first house, or in the overall in the sign of your sun sign, the Jupiter brings a lot of promise, a lot of opportunities, a lot of growth and luck. All things that Jupiter represents comes to you, such as more popularity, more traveling, more education, more prosperity. All those Jupiter possibilities, there's more of a potential for you to grab onto it. The Saturn is the work. Now, Saturn went into Pisces once every 30 years in March of 2023. And it will remain there till February 2026. When Saturn is in Pisces, it's in your 11th house, as Pisces is 11 signs past Taurus. The 11th deals with our long-range goals and dreams and aspirations. The Saturn, therefore, you could be really focused on achieving your long-range goals, or really putting in the work and the discipline to achieve it. The 11th house can deal with organizations, group activities. You could either realize you've outlived them, or you're getting more committed with working in an organization or working in a team work. And more personally, the 11th deals with friendships. And so every 30 years, for several years, when Saturn is moving through your 11th house of friendships, friendships are tested. You get to really discover who are your real friends. And all the fair weather friends, the hanger-oners, they tend to show their true colors, and you let them go. There might even be some real challenges that needs to be worked out with a friendship. Now, Saturn in Pisces, there's a lot of work towards achieving your long-range goals from 2023 to the beginning of 2026. Jupiter in Taurus through the end of May 2024 is bringing the opportunities, bringing the luck to go after your long-range goals. Now, Jupiter is going to align with Uranus April the 20th, 2024, about once every 13 years. But every 13 years, it's usually in a different sign. So this is going to bring in a real windfall of money, of luck. It's sort of like, it could be, some of you might be saying to yourself, well, I made it overnight success. Of course, it took 18 years, but boom, the big breakthrough. But before I get into more detail with the Jupiter-Uranus, and then Jupiter and Saturn will be dancing with each other. Before I get into these other details and the outer planets, if you enjoy these types of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. And if you go into the description box underneath the video, you'll find a direct link to my website where you can order a book and astrology reading or check out my 2-question offer. All right. So the Jupiter is in Taurus until May the 25th. Then it goes into Gemini into June of 2025. When Jupiter goes into Gemini, Gemini is the sign after Taurus. The second sector represents your cash flow, your income, your possessions. So every 12 years, when Jupiter is transiting Gemini, impacting your second, there's more opportunities to increase your income. And that could always follows the Jupiter in Taurus that could have brought you the opportunities, new opportunities for growth. So then when the Jupiter goes into Gemini, that is when you could be monetizing those opportunities. But before the Jupiter goes into Gemini, the end of May, entering your second house of income, Jupiter in April will be aligning with exciting, unpredictable Uranus. This alignment of Jupiter and Uranus occurs every 13 years, and it's going to be at 21 degrees of Taurus in your sun sign, on your rising sign. This brings in these windfalls of money and opportunities, and that could also bring in this great good fortune, great opportunities out of the blue that could then set you up with Jupiter moving through the second house of income from that end of May of 2024 till June of 2025. Now, Jupiter, when it goes into Gemini, it's going to be forming a hard angle to Saturn in Pisces. And Jupiter will be squaring or being blocked by Saturn in August of 2024. This might be when you're feeling some financial delays, some frustrations, some restlessness economically, because the Jupiter's in Gemini in your second house of cash flow and income, but it's being resisted by delaying, frustrating Saturn. So you got the best news of all the signs for the most part in April, setting up prosperity through the next year, but August might be a bump in the road. Maybe you're having these big expectations, but there will be these delays and frustrations. Now, the other big theme is the karmic north node is in Aries from July 2023 till January 2025, about every 18 and a half years. Now, the karmic north node is pulling us into our future. The opposite is the south node in Libra, and that is what we need to let go so we can move into our future. It's more in that it's very karmic. It feels like it's meant to be. It's not so ego-oriented. It's sort of like this is where the energy is flowing, and you either go with it or you resist it. That karmic north node in Aries, Aries is the sign prior to Taurus. So it's the 12th house sector from Taurus, or it's the shadow sector. And that karmic north node is this strong pulling us deep into our future. The shadow sector can represent seeking more spiritual studies. The 12th house can get into more charity, helping those less fortunate. There might be a strong pull there. On a more upside, that 12th house sector could be a real draw to traveling internationally. The South Node in Libra through all of 2024 is what we need to let go so you can move more towards the future. It's a time of what needs to be reorganized. It's moving through your 6th house sector. That can be your job or body maintenance. Maybe this is letting go of limiting health habits, too much sugar, junk food, alcohol, cigarettes. That could be an example of what needs to be let go, or what needs to be take another look at reorganizing your daily health habits. But the 6th house has a lot to do with the day-to-day job routine. And so for many Taurus and Taurus rising people, there might be some changes in your work, maybe some changes in your with your job skills. Now, let's look at the outer planets. The Pluto is the planet of transformation, endings and new beginnings. And Pluto's a 243-year cycle. In 2008, it went into Capricorn, and in 2023, it moved briefly into Aquarius, and then it retrograded back into Capricorn. So in early 2024, January, February, it's back, actually up through May, it's in Aquarius. Then in June, it's retrograding back into Capricorn, tying up loose ends. So by the end of November 2024, now Pluto goes back into Aquarius and will remain there for nearly 20 years. A lot of the chaos in the world with government, with economics, is transformational Pluto breaking down all the influences of Capricorn. Capricorn rules government, economics. Now, and Pluto can rule the darkness, things been hidden and coming to the surface. So a lot of deep change. But now the Pluto is changing signs once every 243 years as it goes through all the 12 signs, and it goes into Aquarius by the end of 2024. We're going to see some real strong previews from mid-January through the end of May 2024, and then one last tying up any loose ends when it retrogrades one last time back into Capricorn. Capricorn represents the old guard, the old system, and Aquarius represents the future, technology. So powerful Pluto, once in 243 years, moving into Aquarius. It's going to really push new advances in science and technology and communications. But Aquarius also represents personal freedoms and democracies. And so as there's been so much autocratic leaders taking over in these last years, the Pluto in Aquarius is more of a push towards more democracy. So that Pluto changing signs in 2024, that's part of a significant paradigm shift. Mixed with Neptune will be through this year, 2024, will be at the last degree of Pisces. And then by the end of April 2024, it moves into 0 degrees of Aries, once every 166 years. Neptune is the visionary, the dreamer, and it can be highly creative. It's very compassionate energies. And that Neptune, being an outer planet, is also changing signs in 2025. In Taurus, or Uranus is in Taurus. Uranus is this revolutionary, progressive, futuristic energies. It's been in Taurus since about 2018, and in July of 2025, it finally leaves Taurus, goes into Gemini. So 2024, the outer planets are in their last, are at the end of their previous signs that they've been in. So there's a lot of this transition, the new paradigm shift that makes a significant impact for the world and our individual lives is being set into motion or more clearly defined in 2025. But 2024 is a lot of big transitional changes. One last thing before wrapping up. Mars is a 2-year cycle. Mars is ambitious, aggressive, courageous. Mars goes retrograde every 2 years, and it's going to retrograde December the 6th, 2024 through February 23rd, 2025. When Mars is retrograde, all that drive and energy seems to take more effort, more frustrations, more anger. Now, the Mars is retrograding in Leo. Now, it's going to go into Leo November the 3rd, 2024. A month later, December the 6th, it's now retrograding. So there's this push going into the Leo. Leo's 4 signs past Taurus. So that Mars retrograding in the fourth can represent your living situation, your family situation. Now, if you're moving or you're remodeling and you start it during the Mars in retrograde, it might be more aggravating, frustrating energies. But I would start it in November, if you're having any plans of repairing, home remodeling, moving, get it going with Mars going direct in that 4th of real estate and family. So then during the retrogrades of nearly 6 weeks, that can be a lot of these this adjustments and delays, which goes along with all kinds of big moves or big remodeling. So I want to thank you for watching. If you like information on how to book an astrology reading or check out my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.co. That's .co. Until next year, be safe and well.